Good afternoon and welcome to our webinar series. Today we have our student from BHM 4th semester, Pooja Yadav, who will introduce the session. Pooja, please come and introduce us to today's topic and the session.
Good afternoon everyone, my name is Pooja Yadav and our topic is Breed of Research in the Deduction versus Induction. First of all, I will explain what is research breed. The research breed is a digital self-assessment tool designed to support leaders, teachers and teaching assistants in navigating their own research journey towards maturity, competence, including knowledge, skill and behavior recognized the key steps in this journey. These competences are presented on a continuum from emerging development, establishing, leading, as illustrated by the concentric circle of the wheel. Now, deduction versus induction. Deduction. Deduction refers to the premises, procedure of moving premises to continuous conclusion based on truth value of the premises and rules of logic. Induction. Induction is a form of reasoning used in pursuit of understanding and knowledge based on the and establishing a relationship between observation and theory. The main difference between both is deduction has theory that predict and which are tested by experiments, and induction makes observations that lead to the generalization for how the things work. Thank you.
Thank you, Pooja, for wonderfully introducing us to the session. Now, I would like to call Konika of BHM 4th semester as the first speaker of the webinar. Konika, please come and share your views with us. Konika, I would request Konika to come and take over and present her views. Konika, am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. Please take over the session.
Hello, everybody. A very good afternoon to all my respected teachers and my fellow friends. So, I am Kanika Bhattacharjee from BHM 4th Sim, and now I'm going to share my PPT and present it. So, today my topic is deductive research. And before moving into this topic, I will like to give a clear insight on these 4 images as we can see attached to this slide. So the first picture is showing research, which is a combined word re and search, that means search again and again. Number 2 is showing a magnifying glass, which is telling us about data or findings gathered from search. Number 3 is showing us arrows, which is telling us about the pattern of research. And number 4 is showing us the approaches which researchers make to get a research done. So it is very clear from these 4 images that today my PPT is all about research approach. Let's move into this topic. Basically, there are 3 types of research. So basically, there are 3 types of research. Number 1 is inductive, number 2 is deductive, and the third one is abductive. It is very obvious that before researchers get into a research process, they are to make a choice between the way of approaches, either deductive or inductive. So what is deductive approach? Deductive approach is based on developing a hypothesis based on existing theory and then testing the hypothesis and coming to a conclusion, either rejection or confirmation. It follows the top-down approach, that is from top to bottom, starting from theory and ending up with a conclusion. Though it is a quick process, it is a method of verification. It tends to quantitative research, yet few deductive approaches can tend to qualitative research. Next is, what are the stages of deductive approach? So as we can see, here is a picture. It is starting from theory and ending up with confirmation or rejection. So the first step is it starts from deducing hypothesis from theory. Number 2 is starting with formulating the hypothesis. That means driving the theory from prior evidence. Number 3 is testing hypotheses by various methods of research like regression, correlation, analysis, mean, mode, median, etc. Number 4 is examining the outcome, means examining the outcome of the test, thus confirming or rejecting the theory. And number 5 is modifying the theory. Theory is to be modified after theory is rejected. That means only when the theory is rejected and not when the theory is confirmed. What are the advantages of deductive approach? There are certain advantages of deductive approach. Number 1, possibility to explain relationships between concepts and variables. Number 2 is possibility to measure concepts quantitatively, thus getting accurate results. Number 3, generalization of research findings. And number 4, if A equals to B and B equals to C, deductive reasoning tells us that A equals to C. That means if A is true and A is equals to B and B is true and B is equals to C, then C has to be true because A equals to C. Now, wheel of research. Wheel of research goes like either exploratory or confirmatory. Exploratory means the research to clarify the exact nature of the problem to be solved, and confirmatory means to find out the theory supported by facts. This deductive approach follows a confirmatory research starting from theory, testing of hypothesis, gathering data, and finally confirming the observational data. Now, understanding wheel of research through deductive approach. Let's take an example. Number 1, low-cost airlines always have delays. So this is a theory. Number 2, an assumption is made. They will always experience delays. This is a hypothesis. Number 3 follows hypothesis testing, collecting flight data of low-cost airlines, or we can say this data are the outcomes. And number 4, it is observed that 8 out of 100 flights of low cost of airlines are not delayed. That means the hypothesis that we have made to assume is wrong and thus rejected. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Konika. Thank you for explaining us in this wonderful way. Now, taking the session forward, I would like to call BHM 4th semester student Soni Shah to further take the topic forward and present more views on the same. Soni, please take in charge of the session.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, all of you. Good afternoon, my respected ma'am and teachers and friends. This is Soni Shah from BHM 4th Sem, and I am going to explain the inductive theory of research. There I start. Am I audible to all of you, ma'am? Hello?
Yes. Soni, you're audible.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Please go ahead. You're audible.
Okay, ma'am. So here comes my inductive approach. I have provided a diagram showing the inductive approach. The diagram shows the observation, there comes the pattern, there comes the tentative hypothesis, and then the theory. So observations which are made are basically made according to our thinkings or according to the practical things we see on a daily basis. According to that, we observe things and we make an observation. Apart from that, after that step comes our pattern. So pattern is the thing which organizes the know-how of the research activity. Then comes the tentative hypothesis, that is the tentative explanation for an observation which can be tested for further investigation. This means that hypothesis is the stepping stone to a soon to be proven theory. And there comes the theories at last. The theories are formulated to explain, predict and understand phenomena and extend existing knowledge within the limits of critical bounding assumptions. Now, what is an inductive research? Inductive research, there is the definition like inductive reasoning and general conclusions are closely related. Means inductive reasoning takes specific observations and draws general conclusions from those observations. Now, more and more observation makes the conclusion accurate. That is, the more observations we make, it will determine how accurate our conclusion is. The second slide comes with the types of inductive research, that is the inductive generalization. In inductive generalization, we use a small sample. Generalization about the whole thing or the whole population is made. Like say, if we take an example, if I observe that the left-handed people I have met or I have come across uses the left-handed scissors only. Therefore, all the left-handed people use left-handed scissors. There is my observation stuck. Thereafter comes statistical induction. Statistical induction is similar to inductive generalization. Statistical induction uses a small set of statistics to make a generalization. Like say, if since 95% of left-handers around the world use left-handed scissors. Following statistical induction comes causal inference. In causal inference, inductive reasoning we use have inductive logic, which draw a causal link between the premise and hypothesis. Now, premise is the assumptions we make. Say, in example, if we take in summer, there are ducks in our ponds. If I observe that in summer, ducks comes every year in my pond. Therefore, summer will bring ducks to our pond. That is my causal inference. Then comes the analogical induction. In this type of inductive reasoning, a hypothesis is drawn by analyzing two similar premise, that is assumption, and their similarities. For example, if we take Mary and Jim are left-handed and use left-handed scissors. So Bill is also left-handed. Therefore, Bill will also use the left-handed scissors. This will be my conclusion. And at last comes my predictive induction. Here we might draw a conclusion about the future using information from the past. For example, in past, duck have always come to our ponds. Therefore, duck will also come to the pond this summer too. The third slide are my methods involved in inductive research. That is the problem. Problem is in sense, in order to arrive at a generalization concerning an economic phenomenon, the problem should be properly selected and clearly stated. Further, it comes with data. That is the second step in collection, enumeration, classification, and analysis of data. While using appropriate statistical techniques, there comes the observation. Data are used to make observation about particular facts concerning the problem, and at last comes generalization. That is, on the basis of information, generalization is locally derived, which establishes a general truth from the particular fact. My fourth slide shows the advantages of inductive research. It facilitates skills and formulates the generalization or rule. In this point, the learners are more engaged in teaching learning process. With the facilitating skills, the learner formulates the generalization or rule. It also helps in development of learning skills, that is HOTS, in sense to see patterns and analyze the same. In order to arrive at generalization requires analytical thinking. And at last comes the limitations, as everything has limitations in our life, and as it is a negative point, but still it has a very important role to show. So I am showing the limitation by help of an example. That is, the limitation here is illustrated by example, like we observe 1,000 flights from low-cost airlines, and all of them experience a delay. However, one can never prove that the flight 1,001 will also be delayed. Therefore, a conclusion drawn on the basis of an inductive method can never be proven, but it can be invalidated. Like later, it can be rendered to be ineffective. Thank you so much. Here I end my slide.
Thank you, Soni. Thank you very much for your views. It was wonderful. Now, moving forward, I would like to call Debojyoti Banerjee of BHM 4th semester to conclude today's webinar. Debojyoti, can you please come and conclude the session?
Thank you, ma'am, for having me. Well, this is not the end. It is not even the beginning of the end, but it is perhaps the end of the beginning. Research is always the include. Research is the will which always include through a speech or by anything. I pay pseudo to my speakers who were sensational through their PPTs, and again, I want to thank all of my faculty members and our principal sir, Dr. Subir Ghosh, and our beloved HOD, Mrs. Ornesha Nag, for giving us this platform for producing the best in this time of pandemic. Well, the wheel of research are always moving from its asymptomatic experiences, and this thing are always been the practical session of the modern day. The researchers who were always trying hard, we are always trying hard to find a conclusion for every topic which they are in research. From science to arts, they all are trying a new experience and ends with a research project. Remember, innovation is the new experience of our thinking, and it is our culture which we termed as innovation. It is easy to come up with new ideas, but hardest part is to apply it in the correct region. Hence, I must say that we must get innovated, and our innovation must not be in the boundings of the walls. And the new ideas are always free to express it. Free are always free to express it with facts. Thank you, ma'am.